How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, taking a look at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. We're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I personally did today in the stock market, as well as some stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now in the beginning of February here in 2020. And like you all read in the title, we're going to be talking about the red day we had. As you can see by the lights behind me, the market pulled down today. We're going to talk about that, my opinions around that from a technical perspective. So if you guys enjoyed the video, all I ask from you is to go down below and hit that like button, and also consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see further content from me. And if you want 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,400, I actually have an affiliate link excuse me, down below in the description box, where if you deposit $100 using my link, you get those 2 free stocks, and that actually supports me and all the free content that I'm putting out here on YouTube. So let's talk about right now the S&P 500, which you can see closed down $18.07 on the day, down 0.54%. And guys, this pull down, in my opinion, is needed. And I saw a statistic today on the news, I'm sure many of you guys saw it as well, that this rally we've seen is the best we've seen in a long time in terms of this week's rally. The rally that we saw in the market over the past 5 days, one of the best over the past couple of months, I believe. From 32.14 down to that all-time high, which was yesterday, that was about a 4% move from bottom to top. And I guess where we close now, probably around a 3.4, 3.5% move from the beginning of the week. So pretty good move there in the S&P. So really, this daily pull down is justified because, again, we've ran up 3.2%, a 0.5% pull down. That's healthy. At the end of the day, nothing is going to continue running up every single day. That's just imaginary. This is not euphoria, guys. This is reality, right? So in terms of a technical analysis here, maybe the S&P ends up holding, let's say, this old all-time high as a new support, maybe at around 33.20, or let's say if it breaks this EMA on the 6-month chart, maybe we sell down even further, another 20-25 points, but ultimately I think it should find some sort of bottom either right around here where we are right now, or maybe down here by that 50 SMA. And what I'm going to be looking for really is on Sunday what the futures are looking like. At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, the futures markets open up. We can see the NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones, gold, crude oil, natural gas, silver, futures. We can see everything. And from there, we can plan what we're going to do in the upcoming week, depending on if the futures gap up or gap down. So let's say S&P futures gap down. Maybe we do hit that 50 SMA coming Monday. But let's say we gap up aggressively. This might just be a continuation in the uptrend, and we may just hit an all-time high next week. Who knows, guys? And that's just kind of what I'm looking for here, just from a technical perspective on the S&P. And the same really goes to the Dow and the NASDAQ, right? And on the Dow here, we can see 277 points in the red today. It did a lot worse than the S&P, down almost 1% to the S&P's 0.5%. The Dow, if we're talking exact terms here, down 0.94% on the day today. And let me just quickly clear this drawing set because there's a bunch of old stuff here. But we can see, zooming in a bit, it's a healthy pull down, guys. We've ran from $28,169 all the way up to $29,400 in the span of, I believe, under a week of trading. That's a 1,300 point move. So the fact that we're pulling down 275 points, I'd say that's healthy. I'd say it's fine, right? I'd say that's fine from a bullish perspective. I would not be worrying right now at all. But the thing is, in terms of, I guess, one thing that you can maybe worry about, I'd erase what I just said. There's one thing maybe you could worry about, is the fact that this could be a little double top here on the Dow Jones. But like I said on the S&P, what we see on Sunday and Monday in terms of how the markets open up, that's going to determine whether or not we do see a further dump off here or we pop up and get out of this double top pattern, which could be bearish. You know, that's typically a bearish pattern, but if we break out and obviously hit an all-time high, that would be very bullish here. So the NASDAQ down 55 points, guys, down 0.58%. And this thing is really just, for my glance on the 4-hour chart here, this thing is screaming for a pullback, right? Or it's really looking like it's setting up for a pull down here. Either that or it spikes up, but with the looks of it now after hours, really it seems like it's continuing to push down here. So for the NASDAQ, I can see a correction, not even a correction, guys, just a little pull down, maybe to 92.50, maybe 92.60. That would be roughly around a 1 to a 1.5% pull down. And mind you, the NASDAQ was up 2.7% in one of the days in this week's trading session, which is insane. You guys can see it here. It might have been this day it was up 2.7%, maybe not, but one of the days it had a ridiculous day, and I know you guys remember that. So a little pull down, nothing crazy whatsoever. So that's kind of it right now for the overall markets, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Overall, we had a red day, but it's okay because the previous couple of days have all been home run green days. So there's going to be a red day sooner or later, guys. That's how this game works. So let's talk about what I did today in terms of my trading. And honestly, guys, I really didn't do much whatsoever. You guys know at this point I'm in Facebook, ticker symbol FB. I believe they did well to end the day off, up $1.50, up 0.7%. So I'm happy about that, right? You know, I had some cash, a lot of cash actually, because I sold out of a bunch of positions. So I had a lot of cash on the sidelines today, but like we saw in the markets, maybe we pull down even further, which is why I'm being cautious over the weekend and not really deploying that capital quite yet. So you guys know, again, I'm in Facebook. And some of the stocks I've been selling are Netflix. I got out of that one. I got out of Uber, but not today, guys, unfortunately. I actually got out of it a couple days ago before the earnings because me personally, I don't really like, buying before earnings and hoping that the stock goes up. I kind of like waiting until after earnings, even though it does leave me money on the table sometimes. But for me, it's a way of conserving capital, and that's how you stay in this game of trading for the long term, right? So Uber, this is one that I'm definitely watching for a re-entry at this point, but again, ended up selling out of. What are some other ones that I was in? Again, Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX, but really enough of what I was in. Let's talk about some stocks that I'm looking to get into right here. So not much movement for me today, again, but let me know down below in the comments what you guys did today in the stock market. I'd love to know. So for me, some that I'm watching right now, let's get through it. So ATVI, ticker symbol, like I said, ATVI, also known as Activision Blizzard. They reported earnings, I believe it was yesterday. Let's see, was it today actually, or was it yesterday? It was yesterday. They reported earnings, and I should have talked about them in yesterday's video. My mistake, but they actually came out with EPS of $1.23 versus $1.19, so they beat there on EPS, and they also beat on revenue, $2.7 billion versus $2.68 billion. So we'll go into more depth on their earnings in probably Monday or Tuesday's video because I don't want this video to be too long, but that's a pretty good beat there for ATV here. Up $1.27, up 2.11%. And if you guys have been following this channel for over 2-3 months, you know that ATV is actually one that we were talking about heavily when it was trading in the 52 to the 56 range. This is when I personally was buying a lot of it. I swing traded it up to the 59 60s. I locked up profits a bunch of different times. I actually still have a couple of shares now, believe it or not, but you know, the majority of my swing is pretty much sold at this point. But you know, now, as we're fighting 63 bucks, we could pull back to, let's say, the 3-year chart and see the next gap that we could potentially fill. Remember, a couple months ago, we were talking about these levels, right? 52 to 55, we filled that. 55 to 63, we literally just filled that today, or probably we'll be looking to finish that gap fill maybe next week. And after we break that, if we break that, there's another range from about 63 to about 65 bucks where that's kind of where I'm looking for another entry here on ATV. And for me, patience is going to be key here because it's been a slow mover. Honestly, guys, this thing has been slow moving recently, so it might take a couple weeks to get there. We're just going to have to wait and see. But if you guys have a longer term, you know, swing perspective, I know a lot of you guys like getting in and out in a couple days. Me too. I'm one of those people too, or a week or two. I'm one of those people. But if you have a longer term, let's say you like holding things for 2-3 months, ATV could definitely be one worth watching here, in my opinion, and I'm definitely looking at it as well. So Uber, that's another one. Again, I sold before earnings. They popped to 10%, up 10% today. And really, one of the biggest catalysts here is Uber's expected to be profitable a bit earlier than they originally thought, and they killed earnings yesterday. And these are really just 3 catalysts, guys. They killed earnings, EPS, and revenue. Well, they killed revenue. EPS, they beat on EPS, but it was really in line with estimates. And then we got that news again of earlier profitability, and all of this ended up pumping up Uber stock 10% today. So watch $40. $40, I think, is going to hold here on Uber. This is the new support that we're dealing with. And from 40 bucks up to 45, 47, this could be the next range here on Uber. And believe it or not, guys, we're trucking back up to those IPO prices at around $42-ish. So I think $42-ish based on this chart here. So I'm interested in seeing what ends up going down over the next couple of days here with Uber stock, ticker symbol UBER. So let's go over a couple of other ones here on the list, guys. Boeing, ticker symbol BA. We've actually haven't talked about this one in the past couple of videos, it feels like. And yeah, I feel like we haven't talked about this one. And it's been roaring, guys, ever since we hit 300 bucks, which is a support we've been talking about on the channel due to it being a support from a couple of months ago. You know, ever since we bottomed out there, we broke above 315, which we were talking about as well. We broke above 330. Now we're testing back into the $340 level, right? We broke 330. Now we're between 330 and 370. So for me, Boeing on a technical basis here, although there is a lot of negativity surrounding it, but on a technical basis, it's starting to break out of the downtrend. So for me, I'd like to see it maintain 330 for a couple of trading days because I don't want to get caught in a bad trade here. And for me to mitigate against that, I'd need to, again, wait a couple of days and see what it ends up doing from there, because if it shows any sign of creeping back into the 320s, I really don't want any part of it. But if it finds support 330, starts climbing back 335, 340, that could be an interesting spot in my personal opinion. But again, a lot of headwinds right now with Boeing, so it could be a risky one to get involved with, even from a swing perspective, because you have to realize from a risk-reward, sure, there's a lot of reward on a technical basis here, but if something comes out, a piece of news, more negative news around, you know, the situation, 737 MAX, if more things get delayed, let's say they cut the dividend, which a lot of people are saying they're in danger of, let's say they actually do that, people that rely on Boeing for income, what are they going to do? They're going to sell out of the stock, and then the stock will tank. So from a sprint, maybe not tank, but we all know what happened with Kraft Heinz. What's their ticker symbol? I think it's C. Yes, here it is. They actually cut their dividend. A lot of people viewed this as a income investment, and look what happened to the stock. Not saying that that's going to happen to Boeing. It most likely won't happen to Boeing, right? But if they do cut their dividend, this stock could maybe fall 5, 10, maybe even 15%. Who knows, right? So that's something to consider when you are looking to swing trade Boeing. So a couple of other ones today before we do end off this video, guys, because I do know it is Friday. I don't know if you guys like watching my videos on Friday as much as you do during the rest of the week. Let me know down below in the comments, actually. Do you like watching my videos on Friday? Or do you guys have better things to do? Let me know down below in the comments. But Beyond Meat finally showing some life here. Up $4.55, up 4.07%. Finally, guys, this is one that I'm sure many of you guys did, but I traded this one. I made a lot of money on this. Was one of my biggest winners, I'd say, in the month of January, because this trade was in January. So massive move there from 80 to 130. I caught some of that, caught some of this again. Haven't been in it in the past couple of weeks, really the past 10 days at this point, 10, 14 days. But now it's showing some life. We got a pop above this 180 SMA on this hourly chart, break above 115, and the hold above 115 is pretty critical in my opinion, and a good technical sign here for Beyond Meat. So overall, for me to get back into Beyond, guys, I'd need to see some sort of push. I think back up towards that high earlier today, $120. If we get there, maybe 117, 120, this could be a place to consider a position, for me at least. You do your own due diligence, of course. And from there, 120 to 125, that could be a trade. And above that, if we break 125, there's even more potential here up to 135, maybe even $140, as you guys can see based on these trend lines. So for Beyond Meat, that's kind of what I'm looking at this point. And another one is Amazon, AMZN. This one was up despite the markets being red today. It was up $30, up 1.4%. And ever since their earnings a couple of days ago, this thing has been crushing it. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this, as well as Google, GOOG. This one, although it's not, the risk reward, I'd say, is not fantastic from just a technical perspective here. Sure, it could roar to 1550, but yeah, it's one worth watching, guys. You might not make a lot on this one. There's other ones that probably have more potential. I'd say maybe like maybe Netflix. Like, I'm really interested in getting back in Netflix here, but I didn't want to pull the trigger today, to be honest. I would love to get a share price closer to maybe 355, 360. We'll see, but for me, Netflix, I'm waiting. And again, I have a lot of capital waiting to be deployed. I could have bought today some, but I just didn't, guys, to be completely honest. Square SQ is another one that I almost bought today, but I didn't. This one, I can see it running back up to the 80s, but I want to wait until Monday and see what ends up happening with these overall markets. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to go down below and hit that like button, and also consider subscribing if you want to see further content like this. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull, valued up to $1,400 with a deposit of $100, and those are linked down below in the description box. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. As always, peace out.